Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Today's video is going to be talking about sensitivity. And I know most of you say, yeah, you guys know about sensitivity, but most of you out there do not know how to actually understand your sensitivity. So stay tuned to the end of this video to understand how sensitivity works and which one is the best for you. So straight into it, we're going to be talking about the first sensitivity mode, which is going to be rotation mode. Now, people don't understand what this is, and it's basically how to do a 360. So, like if you'd see, if I'll put the first rotation mode setting, which is fixed speed is set to 120, so it will take a longer distance to do a full 360. Now, you can't see my fingers, but I would pull it up. That's 1, 2, 3 swipes to do 360 with 120 value. So, this is for more casual players who don't want to be doing too much movement. They just want their aim to be more natural. Now, there is distance acceleration. Now, from the name, you can understand it. It's how much distance your finger or your thumb can cover to do a full 360. Now, you see the acceleration value is 300. So that would be one full this swipe to make one full 360. I'm covering the distance on my screen. I'll put it up on the page so you can see it. This is one full swipe. Now, speed acceleration. What's that? Speed acceleration is basically, you don't need to put your thumb on the whole screen to do one full swipe like this. You just basically flick your thumb to make one full 360. You can see how fast that is. You can understand, but sometimes you can make two 360s with acceleration value of 300. So this is the fastest one. It's for people who want to make fast reactions with their thumb. They don't want to, you put in their thumbs down too much. They just want to make fast reaction time. So what's the difference between these three sensitivity settings? Now, three things into account. What device are you using? Are you using an iPad or are you using a phone? If you're using an iPad, distance acceleration and also fixed speed would be good for you because you have much more distance on your screen to cover. Unlike people who are using a shorter phone, that I would advise speed acceleration because that was what I was using when I was on the phone. So then understand the acceleration value. The higher you go, the more sensitive it is. So we've got another one, which is your sensitivities. What is sensitivity switch? So sensitivity switch is basically the switch between your camera sensitivity and your ADS and your firing sensitivity. For example, let me put my ADS sensitivity on the camera sensitivity all the way to 300 and then put it over the firing all the way to 20. Now, if I ADS, you see how fast that is. But if I start firing my gun, you see it slows down. I can't do that much. You can see the difference. Once I start firing, it slows down. So that's what they call sensitivity switch. Now, basically the best one is basically gradually switching while you're ADSing because it's more smoother. If you switch while your ADS animation ends, that's if you're hard scoping. If you switch while it's opening, it will be a much more uncomfortable scenario. But I prefer gradually switching the sensitivity so you have a more smoother pathway through your ADSing and firing. Then the next one is going to be your camera sensitivity settings. Now, this is just basically the left and right movement of your gun. Now, understand the difference between rotation mode and your standard sensitivity. Now, this is for your left and right movements. If you have a distance acceleration value of about 300, you don't want to be putting 300 on your standard sensitivity unless you want to go crazy. If you can see, if I put it on 300, this sensitivity just goes wild. As you can see, this is just the left and right movement of your gun on your camera, basically how fast your camera can actually turn. But if you move it with 300 and acceleration value of distance, it's not going to be worth it. So just lower it down to about 120. I don't know what works for you. Please test it out. Like I said, understand what device you're using and test which one is best for you. Now, the next one is going to be your ADS sensitivity. Now, it's just basically the same thing as standard, but when you're ADSing. Now, if you don't know what ADS is, it's just basically aim down sights. That's the abbreviation. It's when you aim down your sights to look like this. Now, the sensitivity of how you are before you start firing. Now, note, when I said firing sensitivity is different, if I start firing my gun, you can see there's a difference between when I start firing. No. So now, which one should be higher? Aiming sensitivity or firing? I prefer firing to be lower because if you want to make flicks, it will be okay. But then you don't want to be ADSing and then while you're firing, your shots are not going to be accurate because you're moving your thumb too much. I prefer the sensitivity for firing to be lower than your actual ADS sensitivity. 20% lower than the normal one using. Unlike same thing with sound sensitivity as well. Now, as a sniper, which I am, you need to understand that sniping with a higher sensitivity is really not accurate that much because your aim is to go me around. You know, this is not an auto gun. It's not an automatic gun. It's a manual gun. So you have to fire and reload that gun again. So if your ADS is all over the place, you might be able to do flicks, but then as a sniper, you need to understand that you need lower sensitivity because you're targeting people. You need to learn how to track, but then do not go too low. Same thing, keep your aim, your scope sensitivity to about 100. I don't know, works for you. Like I said, you can put it on 300 if you want to go crazy. So you need to understand that your firing sensitivity needs to be lower than your ADS sensitivity to be able to hit more accurate shots, so you know your aim is not going places. So then the rest is just your scopes, different type of scopes that you have. Your red dot tactical, 3 times, 6 times, 8 times, and 4 times tactical scopes. But then there's what they call vertical turn sensitivity. Now, from the name, I don't need to explain too much. It's just your up and down movement. If you put it too high, it's gonna mess up your aim. Just keep it below 50 or above 50. Just keep it around that value and you're gonna be good. 3 things you need to understand. First things first, your rotation mode. Which one is best for you? If you're using a smaller phone, I would advise you to go for speed acceleration and or fixed speed. Keep those in mind if you're using a smaller phone. If you're using an iPad, please try out this acceleration because then you want to take your thumb off the screen while you're aiming because you have a bigger screen. Your thumb will most likely be on top of the screen. So try out this acceleration. People say it's not that good, but I'm using this acceleration on 300 value. The sensitivity switch, please keep it on gradually switch your ADS in because it's more smoother for people to understand. Now, camera sensitivity, keep it on the low, on mid. Like 120, do not go above 160 unless and you're really good at aiming. But if you're a beginner, please keep it around 120, do not go too high. Then your firing sensitivity, keep it lower than your normal ADS sensitivity because why? It's more accurate. If you add more players, you can see how easy that would be. So keep adding bots and training with your sensitivity and you see how actually is to flick. It's not actually that hard. I'm not going too crazy. Do not actually be like you're not Balor. Do not try to use high sensitivity on flicks. It's normal. You can use a lower sensitivity. Do not go like 300 on firing because I don't know who you're trying to be. So understand that, and please one more tip. Please do not copy other people's sensitivity. Work with your own. You would actually learn it. Do not go thinking because I'm using an iPad, you want to copy mine, or because you're using an iPad too. We might not have the same finger size. Yours might be longer, mine might be shorter. We might not use the same HUD. So understand your sensitivity, work with it, and train on it. You would actually get better. So if you have any questions, drop it down in the comment section below. If you think I missed anything, also comment down below. Drop a subscription to not miss out any videos because I'm thinking of doing more tutorials on YouTube. So share this video to someone who actually needs this tutorial. Be sure to tell someone you love them, and I'll catch you in the next one.